Hello, Hijoma.
Hi, I've been
Good
waiting.
evening.
Evening.
So, we are so happy to finally be live after so many things, so many circumstances that we could not control.
Absolutely.
Yes. So, welcome everybody to tonight's live session, and we are so excited to have you all join us for tonight's live session, where we'll be discussing beyond beauty. How can women leverage their skills for financial independence? And our guest for tonight's live session is no other than Ijoma Thomas Adia. And she is a seasoned journalist, a PR specialist, and a gender advocate. And we'll be having her on our floor tonight. We are so excited to learn a lot from your wisdom. Let's start with you introducing yourself to us. Let's meet you, Ijoma.
Thank you, Ito. Thank you, Olaito. It's so good to be here, and it's so good to be speaking with, to be sharing around, talking around women issues that, affect us, personally as women. My name is Ijoma Thomas Odia, and I'm a journalist. I currently write for the Guardian newspaper, and I work as the editor for Guardian Woman. I'm also a PR strategist. I'm a parenting enthusiast. I'm a gender advocate. Yes, and I love to stand up for the rights of women and girls and children, most especially.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
So
for having me.
for tonight, um, let's start with addressing the fact that based on today's topic, we'd like you to shed more light into the need for financial independence for women, especially for those in the field of in the beauty industry and the hairstyling space. And we'd also like you to touch on the limiting factors that you think is limiting women from reaching the peak, reaching, great heights in their career as a beauty specialist, as a hairstylist, as a beauty personnel. So would like you to shed more light on that based on our topic, that how they can leverage on their skills for financial independence. So what do you think is the limiting factor for women to work in their financial independence?
Okay, so thank you because this is very crucial and it cuts across. I think I've, from my work, I've seen that it's an African thing, right? We have, first and foremost, being a woman and an African woman is already like you already have some kind of minus added to you already because of the cultural demography for us, because you are naturally expected to be under a man, you're naturally expected to serve a man, to do things culturally. You have to just stay within the confines of being under a man. But thankfully, the world is changing. We're beginning to get a lot of evolution, and we say now today that the future is female. I'm sure you may have heard it. And there are a whole lot of opportunities that are opening up
So
for
women,
women,
yes,
right? And that's why it's also key. So let me just quickly link it with the beauty and hair industry. So because if I have more of my kind of a woman, or
yes,
more women who have to dress up, go to work, of course you need to look good,
of course,
right?
yes,
And so it means that you keep your hair well.
yes,
And that means that more women would care about their hair, and the hair industry would boom more.
very true.
Unlike when you have more women who are housewives.
Yes,
If
I
you're a
care less
housewife,
about their looks.
you don't care about your looks. You're just indoors. Maybe just once in a while, you just try to do something. So it doesn't come to you as priority.
Yeah,
And so for us as women, it's a win-win.
the
The way
win-win.
the world is changing, there's evolution, so it means that for you to be a woman who is out there, it means that you care about how you appear,
How you look, very
how you
important.
look, right? You care about it. There are women that you find and they just tell you things like, oh, they don't have this because they don't have need for it.
Mm.
And so what is most important is that we're encouraging more women, to take on. You are encouraging more women to, take on that
Independent
independence.
responsibility for
Encouraging more
themselves.
women,
Take
yeah,
responsibility for themselves.
for themselves, right? And so because we have a lot of cultural barriers. Of course, we know these cultural barriers, even in the churches. Your spiritual leaders might tell you, oh, obey your husband, do like this. So what happens when you have
A
career
bigger
goals,
dream.
aspirations, and the man is not seeing it like that? What do you do? So
Mm.
now you are in between, trying to convince a man, trying to still be the submissive wife that the Bible says, or
That
your,
you should be.
yes, that you should be, and also trying to ensure that you find a way.
Five
Because I've heard
women.
stories, right? I've heard stories of women who, in fact, I can't remember her name now, but her first ever manuscript of her book she wrote,
Yeah.
her husband tore it, he
Toys.
shredded it, yes. But the woman became like, she's a Nigerian author, like a renowned author. Of course, she left that man. So you can imagine it took a lot of guts to do that. And you can imagine what a lot of women will go through with, not even being bold enough to take that step,
Take the
to know what
step.
to do with themselves, to know how to, push,
Push them.
move on, and
Yeah.
just, achieve that thing that you want to achieve. So, of course,
But
there are also cases of, you know, um, there are also cases of where, and that's why it's key for women to, build their confidence, because that confidence gives you that willpower to tell
that's that's
yourself that
that's
this is
very
what,
key. Your confidence, very key.
yes, this is what I want to do for myself, and this is how I want to go about it. And of course, with God on your side,
You will
the
succeed.
sky is your limit, is your starting point,
Your
actually.
starting point. Thank you so much for that. So, from your point, you're telling us that cultural limitations has been one of
Absolutely.
the things that even
Mm.
spiritual limitation, um, if we will put it that way,
Uh,
where I think people misunderstand the part of submission. Submission doesn't mean that you were not born with
mm.
a purpose. Submission
Right.
doesn't mean that you do not have a divine calling on your life that can find
Absolutely.
expression. So I feel that it's even best when a woman knows about this even before they get married, so that you can be clear if you are getting married to a man that supports your dream or the one that is
Absolutely.
going to try to kill it. But then
Mm-hmm.
if you're already into it, you have to find the wisdom to make them understand that now you have a dream and you have to find expression. So thank you for
Absolutely.
that. Now, taking a cue from what you just said, I've realized that many women in business, they lack financial literacy. They lack
Mm.
financial literacy, and this has led them to struggling in investing, in scaling, and growing their businesses. So, this thing leads us back to financial independence. Because when you lack financial literacy, most likely you really cannot even become financial independent. So, what's your take on this? And how do you think that women can, what's the easiest way for women to learn financial literacy that would help them to become financially independent?
Okay, so this, what you have said is actually very key. Financial literacy. So, a lot of women have been taught, or I won't say taught, our demography has taught women that, you know, aiming to build a house, own an empire, you know, do these things
Like
are
it's not supposed to
probably
be the
just left for the
women
men.
thing.
Yes, it's just left for men. And unfortunately, you go to maybe a financial houses where you want to get loans, maybe to do stuff, and then, are you a woman? No,
Wow.
right? Because you're a woman, no.
You can't get a
You
loan.
can't get those things because
Wow.
they are just, some of those barriers are there. But then I think from all of that, we started seeing the rise of, banks putting up female led, you know, female-led organizations or
Yes.
initiatives to
And
help
even
these women
initiatives
scale.
that help them give them
Right,
loans.
help them
Yeah.
scale, because of course when a woman is in the picture, she might not be as economically or financially, she might not have that financial muscle like the man.
Yes.
So they try to, make it more flexible for her to
For
fit in,
her.
right?
Yes.
So, and that brings us to that financial education. We need it.
It's
Women
important.
need it.
It's important.
Women, it is so important. Women need to be able to save, to able to invest, to own
Yes.
empires. Who says you
Yes.
shouldn't? Who says you can't? Who says that thing that your husband or that thing that the man that you want to marry can do? Who says you cannot do it?
No
People think
one.
that getting married is okay, license to, okay, um, let me get married and these things get done for me. What if it's okay to marry somebody who is very wealthy, but what if it is not that way? Do you
What
just
if
want to see?
it's the reverse?
What if it is the reverse, or what if situation happens, right? Do you just want to sit down? So it is really important for women to um you know put in that effort to understand how to approach their finances, to put in, ensure that in whatever it is that they try to do,
Yes.
they are able to grow their finances, not just trying to do something, but how are you multiplying it? How is it improving or
So do you
increasing
have
by
a
the day?
strategy for us? A strategy for women to learn financial literacy that would help them on a long term?
Okay, so it's good to have, you know I don't know if it's okay to call, but it's good to. There are the likes of economy. There are the likes of piggy vests. Then there's also another one by Financial Jennifer, right?
Yes.
Called the Fin Tribe, right?
Yes.
There she's growing, a is growing an empire and growing thousands of women who are beginning to embrace savings. More women should begin to save, really. Women should begin to save. You love good things of life. To buy that hair does not come cheap. So you need to save towards
To
it,
look good
right?
doesn't come cheap.
To look good doesn't come cheap. So you need to save towards it. And what is key is save, save, save. There are stocks to buy. You can buy bonds, buy stock, all of these things. The ones that, because all of these things comes with risk, right?
Yes, yes.
So the risk that you
You
can
can take.
handle, you
They
can
call it
take.
your risks. Forgotten the name. Like what you can share
What
handle.
you can handle, right? So you just stay with it and just put it up. Saving is really, 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 really key. Saving is really key for
Really key.
women. Really, really key. Do things in groups. You can choose a group of women that you want to be financially, if you guys want to be financially accountable to each
Accountable
other,
to each other.
right?
That's
Choose an
very important.
accountability partner, right? So that you guys can, you know, smash that goal for the year. It's
For the
good to
year.
have bi-monthly goals. It's good to have quarterly goals and all
Quarterly
of that. So
goals. Yes.
smash it. They are just like I said earlier about banks giving out, designing women-led or women-focused
Loans.
financial,
Yes.
services.
Services.
There
Yeah.
are a lot of them right now. Virtually all the banks have. So
Yes.
of course, if
Yes.
you want to do a business, I also know, I have this friend, Ifoma. She runs She Included. What she also does is to, help
Women that
help
need financial support.
yes, support to grow their businesses. Number one, you must be a woman. The business must be viable, and you can tell that this business you know, can
Has the
multiply,
potential of multiplying and
growing.
returning back.
Absolutely. And thankfully, in my line of work, I've seen that more women have that capacity to thrive, to grow in whatever it is that they choose to do. I have seen it. I was with the women in transportation. Let me use them as an example.
Okay.
The women who drive the BRT buses.
Yes.
While I was speaking to the head of the owner of the BRT firm, and he was telling me that these women have that's for him it's more economical to have women work for him.
Why?
Yes,
Why is that?
because the women never even get into an accident.
Wow.
Women are naturals. Women are natural carers.
We can handle
So
different things at the same time.
right,
And none will
and they
crash.
are they have that ability to stay put and do that thing really well. So he says all the people who have gotten into accidents or the buses get damaged are all men.
Men. That's
They are all
funny.
men. And
Wow.
another organization like Lapo have seen that more women, over 70% of those who come for loans
Are women.
are women. And they keep coming back and they have
Yes.
seen their businesses,
Grown
grow, thrive.
bigger. Yes.
So it is very possible. A woman needs to just be dedicated. Like when a woman chooses to do something, she puts her all
I'm
into
all
it.
into
She
it.
puts her all into it. So it's very easy for women to thrive, women to grow. All you just need to do is to be dedicated, to put your mind into it and get to work. And really get to work. It is really, really possible. It's possible.
Okay, so thank you. I remember that when I wanted to start being conscious, as in paying attention to my finances, one of the apps that really helped me was the piggy vest. So when I came in contact with piggy vest, it was so amazing because I was able to auto save. They have a feature called auto save that takes a certain amount out of my account every day, every week. And that's like one of the major key factor that helps me grow my business to where it is today. Yes, because I didn't put a target, and now they have a more interesting feature called the target saving. So
Yeah.
sometimes I do a quarterly target saving, and and then they tell you have to it's locked, and then you can't open it until you are ready for it, until the set date for it. So I think it's something that a lot of us can
Absolutely.
actually incorporate. And also,
Absolutely.
added to that, you said something about women finding themselves and helping each other, being accountable to each other. And that takes me to the next question that talks about collaboration. I find a lot of women competing with each other instead of collaborating that could help and foster growth and help them scale.
Absolutely.
So, how and what's your thoughts about this? About women coming together to collaborate to foster growth?
Okay, so for me, I believe that it is really key to have us as women collaborate, because that's the edge
You
the
have
men
my
have
attention.
over us.
You can
That's the
continue.
Can I go ahead?
Yes, you can.
Okay. So that's the edge the men have over us. They collaborate. Men might not necessarily be, call friends, but when they have, similar interests, they latch on it, and get the meat out of it and move on. But
Yes.
because of the way we are wired as women, it is
It's also the
more
same thing that happens even in friendship.
mm,
Before you see a female friendship that would really survive test of time,
right.
it's a lot.
Right. Absolutely. It's a lot. It is really a lot. So, in fact, what Financial Jennifer is doing now is she's trying to grow. She's getting women to, come together. Maybe you know, getting like hectares of land and everybody just coming, putting their bits. And you know what that is going to amount to
That's
at the end of the day?
amazing.
That is amazing. And that's the power of womanhood, really. As women, we don't know how much power we have, how much we are able to, you know, how much we're able to give out. If only we can stick to what really the core of the matter is,
Yes.
and take away all the side distractions.
Yes.
So collaboration is really key. We need to really invest in collaborating with each other. There's not much one person can do, right? Even asking somebody, coming to do it with someone makes it even easier, right? Because it
Yes.
helps you build your expertise in a certain place, and then you are able to, you're able to grow more on it, and then you guys are able to move fast
Yes.
and move forward, and then stay longer,
Stay
right?
longer
And you
together.
stay longer, like you can stand the test of time. That's what collaboration does. So I highly recommend collaboration. It is key for women to collaborate with other people to thrive. It helps us, move forward, move faster,
Yes,
move
that's
further,
that's even the major
grow
point. It helps you to
stronger.
move faster and
Yes,
stronger.
grow
When one
stronger,
falls down, the other can help the other to stand.
absolutely. So whatever it is, you are rooted, because everybody has his has that expertise, and
Yes.
that expertise would help you. Everybody just knows where to stay, but then they are just all they are different sides that need each other to
So it's
to
just like the
go.
different parts of the body that every part is
Absolutely.
important.
Mm,
Yes. Thank you very much for that. Now, for me, I feel that until something changes within you, nothing can actually change around you. So,
absolutely.
yes. So, it all begins with your mind. I
Mm,
want you to drop a word, one or two words about a mindset shift that's going to help women to embrace the thoughts and the financial independence. Because I feel that until you know that you can actually do it, you can actually be it, you end up not being able to. If you cannot accept the thoughts, you cannot be it. So I'd like you to say one or two words about the impact of your mindset on you becoming financially free and financially independent.
okay, thank you. So, in fact, what you have said is very key. Your mindset, everything starts and ends here. Everything that you want to do starts here, it ends here. In fact, the only push that you need is you. You are
Only
you
you
are
are the
yes,
only one. You're the
you are
limiting factor.
yes, that's the word. You are the limiting factor. You're the one who is holding yourself back, and you're the one who move yourself forward. The truth is that if you cannot conceive it, and there's a word that if you can conceive it, then it's possible. And so that's why you need to work on your mind.
Your mind.
When it comes to running businesses, or when it comes to running any venture, it is important to um, understand what you want to achieve at the end of the day. What is your goal? What is your drive? And all of those things would help you know shape what your mindset will be about how you want to be financially free. A Dangote, for instance, already knows that he's serving the entire nation.
Hmm.
So even if he's making one naira times 200 million people, he's already making millions, right?
Yes.
So for you, who is a small business owner, or who is starting up a business, who are your target audience? You need to define them, right? And defining them also would help you, decide what your staying power would be. How do you want to how do you want to define your market? Who are
How do
those
you
that
want
you
to
will
reach?
say
How do you want to reach the people you're targeting?
absolutely? How do
Yes.
you want to reach them? So it is not, you should be able to understand if your business is for, you should be able to tell who your business is for.
It's
And no,
for.
and so that would also help you, determine your pricing, and not when somebody comes and says, oh, is it not, or it's too expensive, or it's too cheap.
So you won't
So
quickly crash it down because you're
right.
trying
So
to
because you are
resist
hearing that it's
them.
too expensive, then you're not trying
Yes.
to crash it down.
Hmm.
So you should be able to, you should get to that point where you tell yourself that you are for a certain market,
Yes. You cannot be
and that's
for
the market.
everybody.
You cannot be for everybody, really. You're
Everybody.
not a Dangote. Because that
Even
was why I
that,
started with him.
interesting enough, even Dangote still work with market segmentation. At,
Right,
at least
right,
in
right.
terms of flour production, sugar production, is diabetic patients are not part of his target audience. They're not part of the people he's targeting. Because yes, they don't need sugar. They don't need, when they are thinking about people that are interested in, when you're talking about the beverage companies and all
Right.
of that. There's
But the
some
fact
companies
is
that
that
has
it
that.
took But the fact is
So they,
that
they, they still have their own market segmentation, despite. So every one of us is all supposed to have it.
absolutely, and define your market. Know your worth, know the value you're bringing to the table,
The table.
and don't allow anybody underprice you or underestimate your worth. Stand by what you believe in.
Yes.
And
I also, I'm sorry for cutting you. I also think that in the part of people knowing their worth, you cannot know your worth if you did not put anything inside you.
absolutely.
So most women, it's not just about owning a business. What are the values you've added to your mind that can make you know that you have something you're bringing to the table? Because if you don't even know you have something, how do you know you have something to bring to the table? So I think every woman out there should invest in their mind, because you cannot take something from nothing. If your mind is empty, we cannot help you to shift it.
Oh, absolutely. You're correct. So even I was listening to Apostle Selman one time, and he was saying, if you're asking God for if you're asking God for 1 million,
Yes.
and actually what he wants to send your way is 10 million, because your mind is already made up at 1 million. Circumstances, the atmosphere,
Yes.
the environment would find a way to take away
To
the 9
reduce
million
it to that 1 million.
to that 1
And
million.
even if you get 10 million, you will spend it till it becomes that 1 million. Then you will now start saying, okay, now I want to use it to do something important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's really important, just like you have said, to invest in yourself. When you understand the worth that you're giving out, nobody, you won't be shaken.
Yes.
You'll be like someone who is rooted. You won't be shaken because you understand the worth you're giving. I get people who will call me and they say, "Oh, I want to do this. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't do it. Oh, that's fine. Oh, I got it quite cheaper somewhere. Oh, it's okay. You
That's
can go.
beautiful.
It's good.
It's good.
It's okay. You can
It's
go."
good.
you know, and it doesn't stop those who understand or know your worth to still come back
Still
to you and
come
say, "Oh, this is
back
what I
to you.
want. Where have you been?" And the truth is that you can't be for everybody. So all you need to do is to understand who are you, who are your target market, who are you focused on. You can't be for everybody, really. You can't.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. So, guys, mindset shift is non-negotiable. If you are even though it begins with that, you need to firstly know that you need it. You need it in your life. Without it, because like when you were telling us about the cultural barriers that have limited women from being everything they could be, um, the mindset shift that you're talking about is one aspect they need to focus on for them to know that they can be everything that they want to be, because you know that we are made up of circumstances we grow around, we are made up of the exposures we grew around, we are made up of the information that we let into our mind.
Right.
And I remember my little girl asking me yesterday, she asked me, she said, "Ma, how can I take away bad thoughts?" And I told her, you cannot remove bad thoughts. You have to replace it with a good thought. If not, it is going nowhere. So if you have a cultural limit, I'm good. If you have a cultural limitation, you will have to replace it with freedom.
Absolutely.
Thoughts of freedom, that you are free to be everything you want to be. And I think that just makes that, in fact, this tour just makes my day. So thank you so much. So I just wanted to give you a final word for women out there that are going into the beauty industry, and just talk to them about how they can leverage their financial skills, business skills to grow, to scale, and to be everything they want to be. Your final words to them.
So I'm going to be saying that the beauty industry in Nigeria, or even in Africa and the world at large, is a multi-billion naira industry. No, multi-billion dollar industry. So if you have that mindset, you understand that you have gold lying in your hands, and that means that you have a lot of work to do. So don't even look at the fact that, oh, you think that everybody is in that industry. No, just look at it like the sky. Can you see it? Is it clouded? Is it choked? No. And that's how much space you have to thrive. Find your core. Know what you're bringing into the market. There's something that you should be known for. Go for it. Take courses, learn. Ito has an academy, right?
Yes.
Invest in understanding the nitty gritty. It's not just enough to just go out there and say you want to start. What do you really know? How certified are you? Because the beauty industry is so big, because more women are being out there,
Yes.
more women are, so everybody has to look good,
Yes.
right? And that means that the need to have more people in the industry is huge,
Very
right?
true.
There's need for it. Everybody needs a hairstylist, for something. You need to get hair products. In
Yes.
fact, it is endless. It is endless.
It's
Like,
so
I'm sure
broad.
there's no woman who won't have at least maybe 5 pairs of hair. At least, with the other times I need to go for your washing, do your regular routine for your hair and all of that. Find your core, find your niche, stay on it, build it, because it's going to take you around the world. You're going to build an empire with it. And so you must start it, as you're starting it, make sure you're growing it. Make sure you also believe in your dreams. What are you dreaming? What are your thoughts? What are those things that occupy your mind? How do you want to see yourself in another 10 years? How do you want to see yourself, what do you want to hear people talk about your brand, right? And it's key. So go out there. If you can dream it, then you can do
You
it.
can do it.
The world is waiting for you.
Thank you so much, Ijoma. So tonight's session has really been very enlightening and inspiring. And one of the key words for me in everything you have said, number one, you said find your niche, very important,
Mm.
and build the empire, much more important. I want to build my own empire too, so I'm so
Please,
excited
you
about it.
will.
So find your niche, believe you can do it, go for it, just as you've said. So now to our audience, if you have any question, you can drop in the comment section and we would address it. You can just type in the comment section, find your niche and build your empire, so that you remind yourself, when you type it, remember that you told yourself you want to build an empire. So thank you so much tonight. And we sure will make good use of it today. We'll make good use of it. Thanks so much. I think there's no question for tonight's session, so we're going to be calling it a day. For those of you that will need to, you need PR services and you need journalism services, please contact Ijoma on Instagram at Ijoma or Dear. Contact her and she's going to do you well. Yes, she's going to do you well. She's
Thank
good.
you.
She's good with what she does and she's going to treat you well. Thank you so much. Do have a great
You're
night, right?
welcome.
Bye,
Yeah, you
everyone.
too. Bye.